Let's begin.
Are we beginning?
We've begun.
Okay, we've begun.
What's up? Julia Anderson in the
Oh,
house.
hello, Nordista Freeze. Your name in my phone is spelled Gnar, Dista Freeze, because you are gnarly.
Whoa, no way. I didn't know that. That's sick.
That's what it is.
Yo, right off the bat, your hair looks so good.
Thank you. I just got it cut yesterday. I'm very new to this lifestyle, but I love it.
Wow, it looks really like fun. I feel like I'd have so much fun with that haircut.
Thank you. It's really fun. You should get this haircut, Freeze.
I wish my hair was that long as yours.
Yeah, my hair's pretty long.
Your tattoos look great too. Is that a new tattoo?
I got this one in February.
Whoa.
Not really new, but then, oh, can you see that one?
I think so. I think they'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got that one. That's my most recent. It's a strawberry with a
Oh,
nail.
cool. Yeah. Wow. Yo, that's awesome. When did you get that one?
Um, I want to say like July.
That's cool. During quarantine. Um, Julia Anderson, the member of Future Crib who lives in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Is that where you are right now? Are you at the house on the hill?
No, I'm actually in Nashville. Or I guess not Nashville. I'm in Brentwood at my parents' house.
Dude, what? You're in Brentwood? Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
hmm
Have you been there for a while? Did you move back?
I moved back to Chattanooga. I just came back in town to get my hair cut and to see my lovely, beautiful parents.
It's Labor Day.
It is Labor Day. I had 2 classes online today.
Cool. Wait, you had class today?
I had 2 classes.
What?
Are
Dad.
you making coffee?
Yeah, I just pressed it.
Dude, I do that for a job now.
Yo, where do you work? Oh, you work at Spot.
I'm
That's
working
cool.
at Spot Coffee, having a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool that you work there. Are you gonna help book shows whenever there are shows again?
That's my plan. I wanted to work at Spot because I wanted to be a part of the shows that were going on there. And
Yeah.
Before quarantine, really last fall, I was booking a lot of shows there, just because it was people come to town and they hit me up and be like, "Oh, where's place play?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I got you."
That's cool.
But yeah, I really want to get involved with the booking and there. But right now, I'm just making coffee, making eggs, and I feel great.
That's cool. It's always seemed like a pretty relaxed spot at Spot Coffee. That's cool that you're getting to work there and yeah, maybe even kind of help out the scene once things open back up. I think that's really cool. And then yeah, classes are all online, I guess, or are they in person?
All of my classes are online,
That's
but I
cool.
do know some crazy people who have classes in person, and I'm sending them some love and some strength and some peace.
Yeah,
That's
and some
intense.
immunity.
And some immunity.
Wait, why are your classes not in person? Does every professor get to pick, or
Yeah.
every school within the university?
It depends on the class, I guess. Mine just happened to be English classes and a few history classes. So it's not like you really need to be in person for that. I know science labs are in person because
Yeah.
you have to be in person to do what you do in those, but you can argue about history and English online just as well.
Is this your senior year? Yo, that's crazy.
It's my senior year.
Are you still doing honors?
No,
No honor.
I have no honor. I was kind of slowly pushed out of the honors college.
Oh, by the king of the honors college?
A little bit. Oh, my mom is offering me headphones. Do you think I need them?
I don't think so, unless you want them specifically.
Thank you, Mama. I love you. I love you too, baby.
Oh,
That's my mama.
that
I'm
was
sitting right
tender.
near the door where my dog might come out and greet us at some point.
Oh, I love that. That's cool. I think I know where. I think I've been to your house once in Brentwood.
My parents' house?
Yeah, I dropped off a package there one time for you.
Oh yeah,
When you
my
donated to
my
my Kickstarter.
my cosmic house package.
That's right. Um, yeah, dude. What else has been up during quarantine? Is what I really want to know. Have you been working on anything specifically? Been creating anything or reading books or
I
literally?
have been uh, reading a lot. I've been making a lot of coffee, obviously. Reading a lot. Still not drinking coffee because I don't really like it. And I started roller skating.
Oh, cool. Like we're in the park.
So in Chattanooga, there's this little like kind of secret little skate park. I mean, it's not really like secret, but it's just kind of like this abandoned area where there definitely used to be a building that got torn down, but like the concrete floors are still there. So people like
Oh,
make
what?
their ramps and stuff, and me and Ethan Boyd and my Chattanooga friends will go down there and they'll skateboard and I'll roller skate and we'll be doing some fun things.
That sounds really fun. That's cool. Are you able to like dance around? And I see people always on Instagram doing all these cool moves. I don't know how they do it.
I'm not there yet. I want to be. I'm persevering. I feel confident that I will get there. Um, so far, I can skate in a circle, which is good. I can do some jumps here and there. I jumped over a trashed N64 like console.
Whoa.
I felt really proud of that. And I can go down ramps, um, but I cannot go up and then down ramps, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. No, it does. I
Someone
can't
has to
I can't
drag
do
me
that
to the
either.
top. Yeah.
I can't do that on a skateboard, I should say. That's when I try to do like half pipes and stuff. I just can't quite do that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's cool. That seems like a really fun thing to do, especially I think it's also gonna be fun once it gets like nice outside. It's gonna be fun to just be able to like ride on a nice fall day.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
ready for some like weather to get a little bit cooler.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I love the summer. I love the heat. Um, but I am getting ready for just a change of feeling, of scenery, of activities. Because in the fall, there's different activities to be done, and I'm ready for all that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, me too. Especially like I've just like been in this house now for so long that yeah, just any change is going to be
Mm-hmm.
refreshing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you at your parents' place?
I am. I'm in the basement right now. This is where I live. This is where I'm going to live forever. I've decided.
Oh. Well,
At least until COVID goes away.
yeah.
Yep. I do
I'm
want
not,
to wait, go ahead.
I said I don't know. I like part of me doesn't even want to like talk about COVID because because it's something that is so much a part of my life now that it doesn't feel
Yeah.
too different. Like I don't know, my life has been altered so much by it that I'm just kind of like it doesn't necessarily bother me anymore. I don't know, I guess I just don't want to like talk negative about it. Not saying that you were, just saying that like I think it's easier for me to get through it and like get used to it if I just continue to be like positive and be like, okay, this is the stage of life we're in. Let's wear masks. Let's make it fashionable. Let's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I totally agree.
It just, I
I
guess it makes me.
yeah. Right. Like
Sorry.
no, you're good. it like I agree. I don't think it does. Well, it's kind of two things at once. On the one hand, I feel like it's good to be honest about the disappointments, you know? It's like, yo, this sucks. But on the other hand, I feel like every day, no matter what happens in my life, I have to wake up and like choose to try to like do my best. And, you know, life before COVID was already full of compromises and reality. And now there's just another element in play. And it's like, you know, you can't, or it's just, I just don't want to give it that power over me. It's just like, well, it exists. Like, this is, yeah, like you said, like, this is the world that we live in, but there's still potential to like have really good moments and good days. I mean, if anything, like this virus compared to like any other type of pandemic, you know, we've really got it easy compared to like a lot of like, you know, really difficult situations humanity could be in. Like
Mhm.
we can still like we have our friends and we like have community, even though it looks different, and we're able to like keep pursuing art. And I don't know.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
having, technology and the ability to do this, like sit down and, connect with you and like connect with others, like Future Crib, we've been trying to like keep up with our dear baby George, who's up in Chicago right now. And so we've been trying to stay in touch and have like Zoom hangs all together and stuff. And that's eased the pain a little bit, I guess. Um,
Yeah, that's cool.
so we are in a better position than, pandemics past, I guess I should say.
Yeah, right. Totally. That's cool that y'all have been able to all be able to talk as a band. Are you are there any other musical projects that you're working on for those listening? I mean, I know that you've been involved with Oh Summer, and like you and Ethan have been making music together. You've come on tour with me multiple times. Obviously, Future Crib
Mm-hmm.
is your band that you were in all the time, as well as some of these other projects. But Future Crib being like something that is really active almost all the time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
how's everything going with all these different worlds, music projects?
It's going. Um, it's like different and like difficult to navigate, but not impossible. Like because I'm in Chattanooga most of the time, um, I've been like I guess most of my time has been going into my band down there, Planet Terrestrial, with Ethan Boyd and Caleb Bays and Ben Arroyo. He just kind of jumped in as our new drummer, and
Cool.
I'm like so thrilled with how we're sounding and like the energy, and we try and practice every single week, which like definitely kind of fills that yearning to play. Just because I don't get to play as much with Future Crib. Well, obviously right now because we're not playing shows and we don't live together, so we can't practice as much as I would hope to. But I don't know, playing with Planet Terrestrial has like at least given me a really great outlet right now. Um, and I don't know, we're coming up with some really like interesting new songs. Like we've always kind of described ourselves as like southern space skas. But we're getting into like the fantasy world now. Like now we want to be much more like, dragons and dwarves and like elven creatures in the murky woods kind of situation.
That's cool.
So we're shifting from like aliens to elves.
I
At least
love
like
that.
in my opinion, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because we're a heavier band, but it's fun to kind of like shift the focus of your heavy.
Do you feel like you learned the heaviness from Chattanooga, or do you feel like it's always been in your heart? Because I feel like I know you and like growing up and like Johnny, and we're really into like the punk in Nashville, but then also Chattanooga. Like I feel like still just has like a really thriving, like pretty hard music scene.
Mhm. I would definitely like. I don't know. I grew up in the, you know, like kind of punk scene in Nashville and like the DIY scene, and that instilled a lot of like heaviness in my heart in like the good way.
Yeah.
But moving to Chattanooga definitely kind of pushed it to the forefront, I would say, because like there is a really like thriving like just I don't know, every genre of heavy music going on there. There's like a really big hardcore scene. There's like we play like stoner metal, I guess, if you want to call it that, or I want to call it like fantasy metal. Um, but I don't know,
I
it's
like that.
all thriving there, and I've been to like a lot of the shows. They're always like headlined by some like big, deep, heavy, like bass-driven, dirty Southern metal, and that's really I don't know. I guess it's really impacted me. I'm wearing black. I have a mullet. Like it's all. You can see the visual impact.
Yeah, that's true. Chattanooga's changed you. No, I'm just kidding. But it is cool that you've like found that culture. And yeah, I mean, yeah, since I've known you, I've known that you had an affinity and a love for the harder side of rock and roll. And it's cool that you have friends down there who have like gotten connected with that. I saw that you were at in Ethan's wedding. You were helped. Wasn't like the flower person was like a dog or something. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I was the Ethan dubbed me like at the wedding. Like I walked up to him and I was like, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And he was like, "Why don't you be the Cora wrangler?" And like Cora's their sweet, sweet little puppy. And so my during the ceremony, I was like holding Cora in my lap, and she had these silver metallic angel wings on, and she was just sitting there like being so sweet. And then like halfway through the ceremony, when Ethan and Hannah are doing their vows, she like jumps off my lap and like is like howling, like running up to them, just like I have to be a part of this. And so she like stood in between them while they were doing their vows. And I was like, I'm not gonna
Oh,
wrangle that. That is sweet and beautiful. And I'm just gonna let her do her thing.
wow. That is so cool. It seemed like a
Mm-hmm.
really sweet, just a tiny, sweet wedding. I saw some pictures of the space from that Ethan showed me
Mm-hmm.
and Hannah, and it looked like a just such a beautiful, it's like a little chapel,
Yeah,
and just a few of y'all got to be there. It seemed really special. That was like
it
just a
was
few days ago.
it was really special. It was on Saturday. Um,
Yeah.
it like I don't know. It was a really beautiful, like sweet, simple little wedding. Like if I was gonna get married, I'd do it the exact same way, probably, like pandemic or no pandemic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was beautiful. Like they got married like the day before, actually. Like they did like a courthouse kind of thing, and so on the actual day of the wedding, like there wasn't like an officiant. It was just like our friend Nate up there in like a cowboy hat, just like saying nice things.
Whoa, no way.
hmm
That's cool. That
And
sounds really cool. Wow.
yeah, and Hannah walked down the aisle to a Beach Boys song. It was very sweet.
Do you remember what
I
song?
can't remember what I knew you were gonna ask me that, and I cannot remember for the life of me.
Oh,
Um,
that's adorable.
I'm trying like
I want to
I
walk to a Beach Boys song.
yeah, you could save that for later.
Mhm. I just might. um, that's cool. That's really special. And was Lena there too?
Lena Chestnut was there. Oh, I love that woman so much.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you and Lena
I got
making music together right now?
not right now. I am so inspired by that woman, like
Me
deep,
too.
deep to the core of my being. Um,
Mm.
she's kind, she's honest. She's an amazing baker. She made their wedding cake,
Are you
and it
serious?
was like the best cake I've ever had in my life. It was like she's told me what it was a million times because I kept asking her. It was like walnut maple something with like special, beautiful cream cheese icing, and it was
Oh, I
delicious.
saw that on her story when she was like making that. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, she's like, my first wedding cake. I didn't even think about that. Of course, it was for that wedding. Yeah, she's inspiring. Like, she really uses like food as like a really cool art form, and just like her skill and direction in every aspect of Oh Summer, is just really like the way she handles herself and her Instagram and their music. Not just in like a way where it's like, oh, she has such a cool aesthetic, but just like the love she like sends out and just where it comes from.
Oh,
Seems really special, you know?
yeah. I gotta say, like, playing with O Summer has been like one of the most like fulfilling things for me. Because just being in like a all female fronted band, and at one point it was all like female, like it was all just like powerful women, and we played one show as like an all female like the band together, and that was just an amazing feeling. And I don't know when the next time I'll have that, like, be able to do that again. And so I super appreciate like the opportunity to play with them and like be with all these like just amazing women. Because
Right.
I don't know, my whole journey with music has been very like not like male dominant, but just like I spend a lot of time with guys. Like my Planet Terrestrial is all guys, Future Crib is all guys,
My
which is
band,
great.
same
Yeah,
thing. When you were on tour with me, you were the only
when I was
girl.
playing with you, yeah, like I've always been surrounded by like men in music, so it was really cool to get to play some shows where it's just like this beautiful like female energy taking over.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all set at which Johnny played this set too, but y'all set at Dogma Dance Off was just felt so good in the open air, just outside, you know.
That's one of my favorite sets I've ever played, actually, with
Really?
Oh Summer. Uh, I have like a little video from that. Like it's just like it was like a short little Instagram video that someone took, but it's like me and Lena, like both jumping up and down, just like losing our minds during this one part of the song. And I watch that video on my phone all the time. Like when I need like a pick me up, I'm like,
Oh,
I have to feel this energy.
I love that. That is so that yeah, that was a really special moment, and it also like shout out to Ethan for making it such feel so good and such a welcoming, just crazy environment. I'm gonna miss the little Murfreesboro Theater or whatever it's called. It got torn
Yeah,
down. Such a drag.
yeah.
Makes me so
I did
sad.
it
That
get
was so
torn down
special.
fully?
I think so. Unless there's
Huh,
something I don't know. Ethan would know more than me, but
he
I
would.
was thinking that the wood got torn down, like the stage. That'd be
I
sad.
I think you're right. I know they sold it, and they weren't like Ethan told me they weren't going to be able to do Dogma there anymore. And he said something like they were going to tear it down. I hadn't like heard any updates, but that
Yeah.
is awful. Like I have gone to two Dogmas there,
Yeah.
and both times they were just amazing.
Yeah, they were. They were so cool. I guess there's no Dogma this year.
Yeah, I like to say that their wedding was the Dogma for this year because it
Oh,
was like all the Murfreesboro cats and like the Chattanooga cats all together. Um,
yeah.
and
Fun
I don't know.
fact, did you know that I took the Wisteria single cover at Dogma Dance Off?
I did know that because
Remember
you
that?
wore my sunglasses.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Oh wait, but I'm not. Oh, but I didn't wind up wearing them. I guess in the cover. But there are some pictures from that shoot where I'm wearing your sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first. I I guess no, the first time picture was the first time I worked with Sarah Ann. But Wisteria, that was the first song I put out with her artwork. She's so amazing. I still
She
have two
is.
more shoots that I haven't released yet, like that I've done with her.
Oh, really? Okay. I love the shoots you've done with her. I think they very much, I don't know, they fit like the Freeze universe really well.
Thank
Like I
you.
love the pictures she does.
The
I mean, I
Freeze
love all the work he does.
universe.
I'm such a big fan.
Me too.
But I don't know. I bought some earrings from her at that Dogma, and I was just like blown away. I was so excited.
Oh yeah, the was it like August Sisters.
Mhm.
Her and Hannah's company. They have their shop.
Mhm.
That's so
And I
cool.
that was like right before we went on tour. Yeah.
That was the Dogma was the first like 2 or 3 days
Was that June
of that June
tour?
tour last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun freaking tour. We went all the way to New York and back, right? That was the one we
Yeah.
went like DC.
And we went to like New Hampshire, right? Did we play a show in
Um,
New Hampshire?
I don't know where did we play?
We went up. We went like as far up the East Coast as I've ever been.
Yeah, I have the Google Doc, so we can look it up.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, that's cool. Let's see if I can find it. Um,
That tour was a wild time. Like
it
it just
was.
coincided with my life with like some crazy stuff.
Yeah, right. Let's see past shows. Yeah, right. It did. It seemed like there was like a lot going on, and especially for you. Would you say? Do you feel like you were going through a lot during that time?
Oh, I was going through it on that tour. But I still like it's still one of my most cherished memories, but it's also like that tour does mark one of my like lowest lows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, real quick, it was we played. I now am looking at it. We played in Manchester, New Hampshire, at the Bungalow Bar and Grill. It was that Mexican restaurant that was like tricked out.
Yes. Okay. I remember that. I actually have a video of I think you on stage with one of the bands playing tambourine, and it like seemed like it just went on for a really long time, where you were like on stage playing tambourine for these people, and you're kind of looking around like, yeah, but when am I? When is this going to like end? Not in like a bad way, but just like
Yeah,
what's going on?
when you get invited to play tambourine on stage, it's like you're up there and you're just kind of like, I'm here to smile.
Yeah.
It's like you're always up there for longer than you think. It's not just for a part. You're just like, and especially like if you start too ambitious, like let's say instead of doing like quarter notes, you're eighth notes swing,
You just start in really hot.
and then you're like, wow, I got to keep this going. You're like, I'm like, maybe that's 16th. I can't think right now, but you know what I mean. Just going
Yeah.
fast. um, yeah, I remember that you were maybe going through something, but at the same time, I don't think I fully knew that because you are good at maybe like not like I don't know. You don't necessarily like always. If you're going through something, I feel like you're better at like concealing it or hiding it, perhaps. So I knew that maybe that
Yeah.
you were going through something, but I wasn't sure what or what my relationship would be with like asking you about it or trying to be involved at all. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think on that tour, I was like I've been like pretty public about this online. Like I've had an eating disorder for a really long time, and like that tour was like where it was all culminating into like I'm dying. Like if I keep living the way that I'm living right now, like I am gonna die.
Mm.
And along with that, like I was just experiencing some really, really severe depression, and like some big struggles like in addiction, like with like alcohol abuse and such. But pretty promptly after getting off of that tour, like I got help. I started going to therapy, and then eventually went to like a treatment center for a couple months, and like I like pulled myself out of that. But that tour was really just it was like the bubbling over point.
Yeah, right. Um, well, wait. Yeah, when after that did you wind up going to Alabama?
I I drove myself to uh, the treatment center in Alabama on December 1st of last year.
So that was, I mean, That's like 6 months after that tour.
Yeah, but I had started going to therapy like pretty much the week we got back from that tour. I was like, I'm not doing well. So I like went to my parents and I was like, I think I need to start going to therapy, and I did, and oh, excuse me. And that kind of held things off for a little bit. I kind of bought myself some more time. And then eventually my therapist approached me and she was just like, you're dying. You have to go to a treatment center. And so,
She
yeah, so
said
like
you're
6 months
dying.
later, pretty much.
Wow. In what way? Just from not giving yourself enough nutrients to like keep
Yeah,
sustaining yourself?
from, yeah, at that time I was like, at the time I was diagnosed with bulimia, but I was also like restricting food intake really heavily. I mean, when we were on that tour, I was um, having like one like small meal a day, and then we'd be going hard all night and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just what I carried over, or what I carried on with for a long time. And so I was not eating, and then also like purging often. And what people like maybe don't know is like with in the eating disorder realm, like bulimia is usually almost the most deadly, because forcing yourself to like purge over and over time, it like wears down your insides and it can actually stop your heart. And I was starting to have some heart problems, and my um, therapist and like my doctor at the time were like, this can't carry on, like you are this close to like having a heart attack and dying.
Wow. So when you said that, what is it exactly that causes that? Did you say purging?
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so purging can take a lot of different forms. Um, like for some people like purge through exercise, like over exercising. I dabbled in that for a little bit, but then what I did was vomiting, like making myself throw up, and it's awful and it's so bad for you. And the health complications can be really serious from all of that. It's like, I mean, it's stomach acid going up and down your esophagus. It can wear away at your mouth, your tongue, your throat, your teeth, like all up in here. And like it can cause you to have heart attacks and serious long-term health repercussions.
Yeah, I did some um, research on the negative effects of throwing up after some doctors advised me to stop puking
Mm-hmm.
on stage because I had just been I literally just pushed myself to where I'll throw up, like not even, like literally not on purpose. And it is
Mm-hmm.
funny and I think it's hilarious, but it was like there really are just like physically repercussions that
Yeah.
caused me to like now I don't really do it anymore. I only did it for like a little bit, because I
Yeah, I've,
realized.
I've seen you do it. I was there for
Right.
a couple times.
Yeah, yeah, you were. Right. It
I've seen
is
you eat dirt. I've seen you go through do a lot of things.
eating
Seriously.
eating dirt is good for you. Just kidding. I don't know. No doctor has talked to me about that. So right. So when in December you said you drove yourself to the treatment center,
Mm-hmm.
um, did things did on June tour? Why do you look back on that moment in particular, or that 2 week period or 3 week period, however long it was, as like a defining moment? Like, did things escalate when you were out on the road, or did the road
Yeah,
shape things differently?
things escalated a lot. Like I was drinking super, super heavily on that tour. You know, the amount that I was like purging per day had gone up like pretty much every time we stopped at a gas station. Um, and
Really?
like, yeah, it had just gotten so intense. And it's because I felt like, I was like, oh, nobody's really watching. Like, because on tour, everyone's kind of doing their own thing. Um,
There's a lot of independence,
And
even though you're together the whole time. You can just pick, I'm going to
right,
go over here. And everyone's like, okay.
exactly. It's very easy, I guess, to like kind of be like, oh, I need to go have a moment alone when you're on tour and, you know, go do something bad for yourself. And that's what I was doing a lot of the time, was like sneaking off and like doing something that was hurting my like being and my soul. And um, and the drinking had gotten really out of control on that tour. I don't remember a lot of places we were. And like, I know there were like, I mean, there were like several times where I got like really blackout drunk, and I just don't, I really regret that. And I look back, or like as soon as I got off that tour, I had kind of reached this moment of realizing like, actually, it was in Asheville, now that I think about it, when we played at
Fleetwood's.
Fleetwood's, yeah. Um, we were in Asheville, and I walked down the street to Dover at like that tea shop, and I ordered myself like a big thing of yerba mate, like the traditional yerba mate, and you're not supposed to drink that by yourself. Like you're supposed to like share that with a lot of people. But I just was kind of out of my mind, and I just drank the whole thing. And then I went in the bathroom and I looked at myself, and I was like, I look like death. Like I look awful, and I feel awful, and everything's not right. And so pretty much immediately, um, that was like one of the last days of tour. Pretty much immediately, I like told my mom and was like, this is a huge problem, and I need to do something about it right now.
Hmm.
Because I was just tired of being like not a person anymore.
Yeah. I remember like Johnny being pretty worried about you, but I don't know if anyone else knew or even how much Johnny knew, but I remember he would like, I'm kind of worried about Julia, but you know, he's really good about respecting people's boundaries, and like
Right.
he would never like mention anything specific, you know. He was
Mm-hmm.
just like concerned for you. I have to say I don't remember you ever being like blackout drunk. You must be really good at seeming cohesive, because I don't look back and think, oh, Julia was going. I mean, I remember you drinking, but I don't remember you drinking like excessively.
Mm-hmm.
You seemed like you had pretty good control.
Wait, okay, hold on. That was a tour where I lost my bass, right?
Yeah, I think yes, I think so.
Okay, because when we were in Chicago playing
Mm-hmm.
at the Litter Box, like that was one of the nights where like I got really, really messed up and like ended up leaving my bass behind. And there was a lot of other times, and I do kind of keep it under wraps. Or I did kind of keep it under wraps, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Why do you think that touring like escalated things? Like, what about the lifestyle or culture of it is different than just like normal life, do you think?
I think it's really easy to destroy yourself on tour
Hmm.
and make it and have it feel okay. You know,
Yeah.
because with tour, it's very natural to be like, okay, we're not going to be able to get to sleep much tonight. Like, we're not having super regular meals. Like, just the tour lifestyle is really easy to take to the extreme,
Yeah.
you know?
And it resets every day. Like everyone else is like, oh, it's Friday night. And you're like, it's day 12. And like for
Yeah.
them, it's like, I've had a hard week. I'm going to hang out and like maybe drink a little more than normal or do whatever, like act a little crazy. But for us,
Mm-hmm.
it's like day, like you said, day 12 of that. And
Yeah.
it's like every night. Yeah, you're right. You have a chance to really, if you want to, destroy yourself. You can like go pretty hard. You can like, I mean, if you were just like on any type of drug or medication or drinking or whatever it is, whatever people can turn to, like people will pretty much aren't going to judge you. Like the people
Right.
at the venue or whatever just be
And
like, oh, you're a rock star, you know?
people are so ready to offer you whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
um, like, I kind of like you said, like, I think there is a little bit of not pressure, but this feeling of like, oh, I'm like hanging out with all these cool people and like they think I'm a rock star. Like I'm gonna get like trashed with them and like party really hard and like I'm gonna be that, you know, rock star or that definition of what it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just really, it's so easy to fall, or at least for me, it was so easy to fall into that mindset of like new city every day, no one's really paying that close attention. Um, let's just go super hard in a negative direction.
Yeah. There's definitely not a lot of accountability unless we're being accountable with each other. And I feel like a lot of times when I'm on tour with people, aside from maybe like Grant and Sam, I'm going to be like, well, I'm always more afraid of being like the person who's like, hey, you need to, you know,
The
like I would never want to tell
party
someone,
police.
yeah, exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
like even within each other, it's hard to like communicate that and like I said, like I didn't,
Mm-hmm.
also just like I don't ever really notice anyone acting. I don't normally see red flags like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would like it's just the culture, so it's hard to know what is concerning or not when you're on the road like that.
Right.
But that's really interesting. Was that the last tour you've
Mm-hmm.
been on? Was that the last tour of 2019? Did y'all Future Crib do any other touring?
Yeah. Oh, well, Future Crib, we did a short little run, like a couple days, I think, right after that tour.
Oh, right,
Um,
with the Peppermint Boys, I think, or no? I was thinking y'all did some
I
dates with them
want
at
to
some
say,
point.
yes. I know Lava Goals. Well, I know we played a show in Chattanooga, like as Future Crib, and I don't think you were there, right?
I think that's true.
Okay. Um, and I'm pretty sure Lava Goals was there, and maybe the Peppermint Boys. I think so. Like once
Cool.
again, like I have to point out, this time of my life is really fuzzy, and like I don't have a lot of memories. But we played a show in Chattanooga at the Submarine, one of the greatest places on the planet. My rock and roll home sweet home in
Truly.
Chattanooga. And actually, like at that show, I had a really scary thing happen to me. Like,
Really.
um, yeah, and like not to go into like too much detail, and like I don't know, trigger warning if this like hurts anybody, but like I went into that, you know, kind of business as usual for me at the time. Like I went into the bathroom um, right before the show to purge, and I started choking on my own vomit, and I thought I was gonna die, like right there on the bathroom floor.
Man.
And like I came out of that bathroom and I didn't tell anybody for months that happened. But like I like gave myself one of these like, you know, kind of self Heimlich situations and got it all out, but and like was not choked to death, but it was awful. It was an awful experience to have, and definitely like pushed me to change how I was living.
Yeah. Right.
And that was the last show I played of that tour. And then
Did you leave that
yeah,
tour
that was the
early?
last. What?
Did you leave that tour early, or was that just the end of that run?
That was the end of the run.
Oh, I see.
I
Um,
think there might have been one more day, but I think that was the last day of the run or the second to last day.
so
But
what pushed you from summer to the end of the calendar year? Like, did anything? Was there any more dynamic to the story? Did things continue on, or did it mellow out because you weren't touring as much?
it mellowed out for a second, like, you know, kind of as I said earlier when I started going to therapy and like just opening up and talking about it and being more honest with people and myself about it. But then you do kind of hit this point where, or at least I hit this point where I wasn't, like, I was getting the help that I needed, but not the accountability. So, like, my lovely, beautiful therapist, she was telling me everything I needed to hear and, like, helping me with everything. But just because I was, like, hearing it didn't mean I was able to internalize it. So I would go home from a therapy appointment and still be kind of doing the exact same, like, bad behaviors. And it got to a point where, you know, my therapist told me, she's like, your health is not doing well. And I just kind of had this big emotional breakdown and was like, I can't take care of myself. Like, I can't do it if I'm, you know, at the time, my roommates, like, namely Diana, were the one who were, like, getting me out of bed, like, feeding me, making sure I like was alive every morning.
Yeah.
And I just had this big realization of I have to go somewhere, and, like, I have to have someone take care of me for a second who is trained and able to, and, like, I just have to relearn how to do all these things. Like, I wasn't eating, I wasn't showering, I wasn't, like, sleeping. I was really just, like, drinking and using eating disorder behaviors.
So you drove down to this center. What is the correct terminology for what it's like a
Um, this place was specifically for eating disorders, so it's an eating disorder treatment center
in Alabama?
in Pelham, Alabama.
So you were driving west, over there from Chattanooga, I suppose. Did
Yeah, it's, like,
you?
right outside of Birmingham, and I drove. I think I drove to Pelham, maybe, or oh my gosh, what's the other? I'm trying to think of the other name for what's down there. I met my parents, like, at a McDonald's, and because they were driving from Nashville. I met them at a McDonald's, kind of, like, 15 minutes out away from the treatment center. You know, I crammed a burger in, and then we, like, drove to the place, and they dropped me off, and
So your
there it
parents
was.
did. Your parents knew you were going. It wasn't
Yeah,
just you
my
on your
parents
own.
knew I was going. They just wanted to meet me and, like, see me off there.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, then they dropped me off, and I've honestly had some of the happiest moments of my life while I was there.
Wow. Really? How
Because
long were you there?
I was there 2 months.
Were you able to? I guess you did. You take the semester off of
Yeah,
school?
I left school in, like, mid-November. Like, I think I took one final early and then failed some classes, and
Wow.
just I just like I just kind of put it down and took that spring semester off, like, officially, and went on down.
A lot of people, I think, would have seen like you. You could have just used school as a reason to not go. Like, in fact,
Mhm.
people probably would have like supported that idea, and it was that part of the reason why you wanted to just get there before you could really even have a dialogue about it. You're just like, I know what I need, and my parents support this, and I know what, and I'm just gonna go before anyone can really like. There's no real discussion here. Like, I need help, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty quick decision. I made the decision to go in mid-November, um, and then December 1st, there it was. So
Wow.
it was really quick, and I I didn't really give myself the opportunity to talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
And at least most of my friends in Chattanooga were like, "You need to go." Like, so there wasn't any. Um, there was no one in my life really telling me not to go. So that, I guess, really worked out in my favor, and is just a testament to my really good friends that I care about.
Yeah. That's cool. did you know you're going to be there for as long as you were? Like, is that how long do you go for 8 weeks specifically, or however long it was? Or
Um, it's different for every person. Um, while I was there, I mean, I saw girls come in and leave a week later or
wow,
stay. I mean, I had, by the time I left, I had been there the longest. Um, but there were girls who were there like before me who'd been there for, 3 or 4 months. So it just depends on what you need. And also, like, this is the horrible thing, but I saw so many people have to leave because their insurance wouldn't cover it anymore. And like, or they were
man,
paying out of pocket and they couldn't afford it anymore. And that was
that's so sad.
honestly like heartbreaking because you see like these people, um, I don't know, I was just around these people who I very much felt connected to, and watching them be like cut off halfway through their treatment and knowing that, like, you know, their situations aren't good and they might be headed back home just to fall back into the same habits.
Yeah,
Like, it was awful and heart-wrenching to watch. And whenever someone would leave, we would always do like a graduation kind of ceremony, and it was those graduation ceremonies where the person wasn't ready to leave were heartbreaking.
yeah, right. It's like Forrest. They're graduating, but they're not leaving with what they truly wanted to like stay and like get to wrestle with more and hopefully work through and
Yeah,
recover.
which,
That's really sad.
yeah, but I'm very thankful for being able to like stay the full time I needed. And even after getting out of that treatment center, I came back to live with my parents here in Brentwood and went to another one uh, where I
Really?
was like living at home. But it was, well, there's like different steps and programs in like the eating disorder world, and they really mirror this kind of steps and programs like in addiction recovery and stuff. But so like I started out at Magnolia Creek as residential treatment, and then I did um, I'm trying to remember the next step. Hey, Ma. Oh, I thought she was on the porch. She's not. I can't remember the next step.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, whatever. There's like the step where you're living at the house and all the nurses are taking care of you. And then there's the step where you're kind of living a little bit on your own, but then you still have to be like taken care of. And then there's the step where you kind of go home and like live by yourself, but you have to go to like treatment each day for several hours.
Hmm.
Um,
How long was
so
that
that I've
process?
done all the steps.
Yeah.
This process for me, which is still kind of ongoing, um,
Hmm.
I did residential to intensive outpatient from December 1st through April. And then I'm continuing to do outpatient treatment with my therapist and dietitian. And I have like a doctor that I see and a psychiatrist and all that. But
Wow.
I'm able to live back on my own again.
Yeah. Do you feel like over since April, what has that walk been like? Do you feel like in a lot of ways is it a really slow process? Is it just like day by day you slowly chip away and try to re understand and like work on just like patterns and behavior and like
Mm-hmm.
is it just an everyday slow and steady thing?
Yeah. I mean, it's every day. I can't avoid it because, like, the thing that I have an issue with, like, is food.
Yeah.
Um, so, and I, like, like, I have to eat and I have to confront it every day. Um,
Right.
so, it
Totally.
is a slow, long process. And that is okay. Like, I think
Yeah.
um, I think there's a lot of expectation on people to like get over things quickly. You know, like I've had a lot of friends who have had similar struggles or like mental health struggles, and they'll go to treatment and then they get back and it's expected for them to be all better. But you know, these things take years, and like on average, the like ED recovery takes 5 years to be fully recovered. And I'm not even through my first year yet, you know?
Yeah.
So it is like it's a long, slow process, and there's a lot of like ups and downs and twists and turns, and you know, any therapist will tell you like it's not linear. It's gonna be all across the board, you know?
Yeah. I
But
saw I saw on April 15th you posted on Instagram, you were like, for your 21st birthday, and you said, "This is the first cake I've enjoyed in years." And that was a really sweet. I feel like that was a really sweet moment.
It was. Me and my mom made that cake. And it was like, it's like my favorite cake, and I hadn't made it in a really long time. And I used to make it in high school for other people. Like I would, like there's a couple times where I like made it and brought it to future crib shows, and
I
but
remember
I would like
that.
never, yeah, but I would never really eat it. Like it was just like this cake I made for other people as like a sign of love. And so for my 21st birthday, I sat down and I made it for myself, and I ate it, and I really enjoyed it. And it was like a really sweet, kind of powerful moment.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. Um, your story and your experience, with an eating disorder has become something that you've championed. And when you're telling this story, this is June of last year, and I am someone who's like on tour with you. Like the band doesn't know what you're going through. To now, something that you like talk about openly and encourage people with. And what when I'm just curious how transformation became from to where you realized, if I can get through this, and I can also like help other people get through this by like engaging in conversations and like opening up about it on social media as well, you know?
Well, I think I'm trying to think of how to answer. I well, the thing that pushed me to go to therapy, like around June time, was another like woman had posted on Instagram her eating disorder story, and she had said she had just gotten back from treatment, and I like reached out to her, and I was like, and I actually went back recently and looked at the messages I sent her on Instagram, and it kind of made me laugh now because I was like not aware yet that I had an eating disorder, or at least I wasn't accepting of it, but I was like kind of roundabout asking her like what should I do about what I was going through. Um, and she just gave me great advice, and I really internalized it. Um, and I realized around the time that I was getting ready to go to treatment that she had affected me so much by being honest that I wanted to just, carry that on. Like, I don't know, like pay it forward, I guess. So right before I left, I think the night before I left for treatment, or maybe 2 nights before, I like made a big post on Instagram about it. And I used one of your pictures that you took on tour
That's right,
um,
at Dogma.
at Dogma. And I just kind of told my story up until that point. And like, I don't know, because the biggest thing about eating disorders is they thrive in secret. Like, it's
Yeah.
like one of the number one most hidden disorders, just because like it's so easy to convince yourself that what you're doing is right when no one else knows about it.
And when it like seems culturally beneficial too. It's like if I don't,
Oh gosh, I
you know
could,
what I mean?
yeah, I could talk for hours about the like cultural pressures to like look a certain way, to act a certain way, to feel a certain way, and like
Right.
how that has personally affected my relationship with my body and with food, and like every person I've talked to, um, like with eating disorders, that's been a huge factor.
Yeah, sure.
And and I do like I think I don't know, eating disorders come in all shapes and sizes and all forms across like the whole spectrum of gender, and um, like they can happen to anybody at any age. And I think society plays a huge role in that, and also just the secretive element of it. And that's, I don't know, that's why I wanted to talk about it, and that's why I'm still talking about it.
Yeah.
Because the more I talk about it, honestly, like the more honest it makes me, and the more I get encouraged by myself to continue to recover.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I guess you're creating like a support network that encourages other people, but in turn it encourages you.
Mm-hmm. And it's nuts. Since I started talking about it, how many people have come forward to me like online about their struggles and like their relationship with you know themselves, mental illness, like addiction, and it feels really like it's overwhelming, but it's also very, I guess, fulfilling to feel like maybe I could help encourage another person
Yeah.
to um, I don't know, seek help, whatever form it may be in, because every person like deserves help no matter who they are. Um,
Yeah. Do you feel like there is a um maybe like a spectrum when it comes to eating disorders that maybe there are a lot of people who don't even realize that they are like kind of struggling with maybe
oh
their
yes,
relationship with it?
oh my gosh, um, there's a statistic. I want it. This might not be 100% accurate, but I'm pretty sure it's 95% of people have disordered eating in America.
Wow.
And disordered eating is like kind of the gateway to eating disorders. Um, and wait, what was your question again? I
I
got
guess
excited about that.
no, this is great. My question is just that, I feel like there is a severity to some eating disorders and like what your experience like that I don't want to downplay by like there, but it like my question is there a scale and like to where some people maybe they don't experience it, they haven't don't have the same struggle or the same severity of struggle, but they still have, yeah, like what you're saying, like I can't remember what phrase you just used, but where their relationship with their body and their relationship with the food they're eating is, I mean, I think everybody, or not everybody, maybe you said 95% of people, like
Mm-hmm.
I'd say almost everyone I know, like struggles at least a little bit with that. And that's not to say that there isn't a you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm struggling to say it. I just don't want to like say anything that's not sensitive, but I feel like everybody struggles with this a little bit, at least most people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so common um, to struggle with like symptoms of disordered eating, and like um, and eating disorders are like what's the word I'm trying to think of, like progressive,
Mm,
where the longer you kind of let them happen, the more like intense and intense they'll get. So someone struggling with like disordered eating now, and like continuing without kind of checking that behavior, it can and most often does like develop into a full-blown eating disorder. But I do want to say, like,
Yeah.
there is no scale, at least in my opinion, of severity, because the moment like you feel like you need help, you need it. You don't have to fit any kind of criteria. Like, I know in my head I was like, I don't need help until I get to this size.
Yes,
And
totally.
that's just such flawed thinking, because an eating disorder is deadly regardless of what size you are, what weight you are. Like, it can kill you in any form, and it, like,
Yeah.
really at any weight. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're doing these things to your body is going to react negatively to it. And like, it can self-destruct.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just want to encourage people to, like, the minute they think they have a problem, like, it is a problem. You don't need to justify it in any other way, or have someone else justify it for you.
Or like reach a level of severity to where you're like, now it's justified for me to seek help.
Exactly. Because I just think that's one of the most like deadliest thought processes in an eating disorder, or I mean, really across, just the mental health
Yeah.
world, is setting these expectations for yourself to, or not expectations, but just like, I don't know, like these checkpoints of like, okay, once I get here, like it's this level, or once I get here, it's this level.
Yeah.
Because you're always going to want to take it one step further.
Right. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking time to come talk to me today and like talk about a lot of this. This has been really cool getting to like talk to you about this just like friend to friend, and also like hopefully when we post this, like you can just be a light and an encouragement with your story and to other people who can know that it's like okay to like talk about and like it's okay to like seek help or talk to your friends or whatever it is, like take a step to just like have um people who like can take care of you and like watch out for you,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe like hold you accountable. I think that's not the right word to use, but just like check in on you, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, accountability is so important.
Yeah.
And when you're sick, it's really hard to be accountable for yourself. So you have to build a network of people and friends, and just those who are willing to, help you and look out for you. And, I
Yeah.
did that while I was in treatment, and you were on my list, and I called you one night while I was there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Um,
That was special.
mhm.
I think that was in December, maybe before Christmas.
I think it might have been before Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Well, um, yeah, that was special. Uh, it's been cool talking to you today about this, and I guess I don't know. I guess I have a lot more I want to talk to you about, but I feel like we should. Um, I feel like we've come to a good stopping place
Sure.
for today's session, but we should. There's a lot more I want to keep talking to you about. Um, I'm really glad we got to talk today. This has been really cool. I appreciate you taking time
Yeah, of course. Well, I
out of
love
your
you,
day.
Daisy. I
Thanks
want to
for
be a part of whatever you're doing.
that. Means the world to me. This has been really fun for me to get to like talk to people like you, talk to friends who I don't get to see,
Mm-hmm.
really very much right now, and a lot of relationships that you just when you're on tour with somebody or you're in the scene with somebody, you just get to see them occasionally, and you get to like be friends. And then when that's gone, it's like I don't know. I realized how much I missed people like you, and so getting to start this has been a cool way to like check in and just
Yeah.
have conversations, and hopefully also like if people want to listen to it and learn a little bit more about you or whoever, and especially if people have something to promote, which you loosely do. I mean, Silver Days just came out, the Future Crib
Yeah.
release, which we haven't even talked much about, but I mean, came out about a week ago. That's an amazing
Yes, it
collection of
came
music.
out. I love it. I actually didn't play
Yeah,
on the album
you weren't involved in this project,
because
right?
I was gone. I was at treatment while they recorded it, and they got my. We talked about it plenty of times, and like
For
they
sure.
totally had my go ahead for it. But I love it. I listen to it because like I'm not on it, so I feel like I can just listen to it as a fan.
Yeah, right.
I listen to it all the time. It's amazing. Noah, Bryce, Johnny, George, amazing people.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to play music with them. And our visual storybook that we put online, um, I'm so proud
Hmm.
of. And our friends, Danny, Daniel Ship, and Orso Productions did an amazing job on it. And I am now, I have to plug it because it's so good.
Yeah, it is so good. And also y'all got new music that you're gonna be on and that you're working on with them. I know y'all have got what I refer to as the new music, the new music, and the new music. Just in typical Future Crib fashion of just being prolific. And hopefully some shows will happen once it's safe too. Everybody loves a Future Crib show, so we're all waiting patiently for the return,
Mhm.
as well
I'm,
as other projects too. So
I'm waiting patiently for the next Freeze show. Actually, I'm not waiting patiently. I'm like thirsting for it.
thank you. I'm ready. I just drove to Memphis last night just for no reason and came back just 6 hours. Just went there, said hi to two friends for like literally 2 hours and came home. I miss
Mm-hmm.
driving. I miss touring so much.
Well, come drive to Chattanooga.
I just might. I
And
did it once. I might come do it again. So
come
um,
do it. I love seeing people come through town. Obviously, like in a safe way, but
yeah.
I got a big front porch. We can hang out
Yeah,
on
you
all
do.
night.
Let's do it. Thanks for taking time. Enjoy the rest of your the nice Labor Day.
I will. You too, man.
Thanks. I'm gonna go hang with my family.
Okay, go hang with your lovely parents.
Yeah, you too. I love you.
Love you, Freeze.
For real. Thanks for talking. I'll see you soon.
Of course. See you soon.
Peace.